Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a topic that might surprise many of you. Russia is already at war with Europe, but most people haven't even noticed. When we hear the word war, we often imagine tanks rolling across borders or planes dropping bombs, but modern conflicts aren't always fought this way. Today's battles are more subtle, more complex, and often invisible to the average citizen. They happen in the realms of economics, politics, cyber warfare, and even energy. Understanding these hidden forms of conflict is crucial because they shape our world just as much as traditional warfare. For years, Russia has been quietly pushing against Europe on multiple fronts. One of the most significant arenas is energy. Europe depends heavily on Russian oil and gas, and Russia has learned to use this dependency as a strategic weapon. In recent years, we've seen energy prices spike and pipelines threatened, creating economic instability across multiple countries. This isn't just about selling fuel, it's about controlling influence and testing the political resilience of European nations. By restricting supplies or threatening cuts, Russia can pressure governments to act in ways that favor Moscow, all without firing a single shot. Cyber attacks are another major front in this hidden war. Europe has faced multiple sophisticated cyber intrusions allegedly linked to Russia. These attacks target critical infrastructure, government networks, and even private corporations. The goal isn't always immediate destruction. Sometimes it's espionage, data theft, or sowing confusion. Imagine a situation where a European power grid is hacked, causing rolling blackouts or disrupting transportation. The physical damage may be minimal, but the psychological and economic impact is enormous. Cyber warfare allows a country to destabilize its adversaries in a way that's deniable and difficult to trace, making it a perfect tool in modern hybrid conflicts. Political influence campaigns also play a significant role. Over the last decade, Europe has witnessed attempts to manipulate public opinion and influence elections. This can involve spreading misinformation on social media, funding sympathetic political groups, or even leaking sensitive information at strategic moments. The goal is to weaken democratic institutions and create division within societies. A divided Europe is easier to pressure politically and economically. These campaigns don't require armies or tanks, yet they can reshape policy decisions and international relations just as effectively as conventional warfare. Economic measures are another subtle battlefield. Sanctions, trade restrictions, and market manipulation are all part of the game. Russia itself has faced sanctions from Europe and other countries, but it also uses its economic tools to retaliate and exert influence. European countries that rely on trade with Russia may find themselves in a difficult position, forced to make compromises to protect their economic stability. In this sense, economic dependency becomes a lever in a conflict where traditional war tactics are secondary. Military posturing continues to play a psychological role. While there may not be widespread open conflict within Europe itself, Russia has conducted exercises, troop movements, and deployments near European borders that serve as warnings. These actions aren't about immediate conquest, but about demonstrating capability and influence. They create a sense of unease, signal strength, and remind European governments that Russia can escalate quickly if provoked. This is a classic tactic of modern hybrid warfare, combining military visibility with non-military tools to create strategic pressure. Disinformation campaigns are perhaps the most insidious aspect. They are designed to distort reality, erode trust, and make it difficult for citizens to discern fact from fiction. From fake news to manipulated statistics, these campaigns are everywhere. They can create confusion about public health, economic performance, or foreign policy, undermining trust in governments and institutions. When the public becomes unsure whom to trust, decision-making slows and political unity erodes, giving strategic advantage to the instigator. In addition to these ongoing measures, Russia's military interventions abroad serve as a testing ground. Actions in regions like Ukraine or Syria aren't isolated. They serve multiple purposes, including testing new tactics, weaponry, and the responsiveness of international actors. Europe watches these interventions closely, and the lessons learned often inform strategies that could be applied closer to home. These conflicts serve as both rehearsal and warning, reminding Europe that Russia is willing and capable of asserting its interests aggressively. Intelligence operations are ongoing across the continent. Spies, informants, and covert operatives have been reported in multiple countries, targeting government offices, military bases, and strategic industries. This isn't a plot from a spy thriller. These are real operations aimed at gathering information that could be used to anticipate or influence European decisions. It's a form of preparation that ensures Russia can act decisively when opportunities arise. In modern warfare, intelligence is as valuable as artillery, and in some cases more so. Europe's response has been varied. Some countries have taken steps to diversify energy sources, increase cyber defenses, and monitor disinformation campaigns. Others are slower to act, caught off guard by the subtlety of these threats. The challenge lies in recognizing that war today isn't always about traditional battlefield victories. It's about resilience, adaptability, and understanding the complex web of political, economic, and informational pressure being applied. Those nations that understand and counter these tactics are better positioned to maintain sovereignty and stability. Another aspect of this ongoing conflict is alliances. NATO and the European Union play crucial roles in deterring escalation, but they face challenges in maintaining unity when individual member states have different levels of vulnerability and dependency on Russian resources. This fragmentation can be exploited by Russia to weaken collective European responses. A unified Europe is harder to influence, but divisions create opportunities for strategic gains without ever firing a single shot. It's also important to recognize the human element. Citizens often feel the consequences of these hidden wars through rising prices, uncertainty, and fear, even if they don't see tanks on the streets. Psychological pressure is a key component of modern conflict. By creating instability, confusion, and doubt, Russia can shape the environment in which European governments operate, influencing decisions and outcomes indirectly but effectively. In conclusion, while there isn't a traditional war raging across European streets, the evidence shows that Russia is engaging in a multifaceted campaign against Europe. Energy dependence, cyber attacks, political manipulation, economic pressure, military posturing, disinformation, and intelligence operations all constitute a form of warfare, hybrid, subtle, and ongoing. Recognizing these tactics is essential for policymakers, citizens, and analysts alike. Europe's ability to respond effectively depends on awareness, preparation, and coordination. The reality is that conflict today doesn't always announce itself with explosions and sirens. Sometimes it comes quietly through manipulation, influence, and strategic pressure. Understanding this hidden war is the first step toward resilience and security in an increasingly complex global landscape. Europe may not yet be on the front pages of conventional war reporting, but the signs are everywhere if you know what to look for. The next decade will likely see these conflicts intensify in subtle ways, and those who ignore them may find themselves unprepared. This is not a warning about inevitable destruction, but rather a call to awareness. The battlefield has changed, and so must the strategies we use to protect ourselves and our societies. Russia is already at war with Europe, not in the way most people expect, but in ways that could shape the future of the continent profoundly.